Welcome to this customized deep dive. Today we're exploring excerpts from a pretty fascinating text. It's called Strategic Restraint: The Power of Sloth Philosophy.
Yeah, it's a great one.
And the mission of this deep dive is to look at why the ultimate competitive advantage for you might actually require slowing down.
Right, because we're also familiar with the business problems of overscaling and, just complete burnout.
Exactly. But the source material uses this really unconventional biological analogy to tackle it: the sloth.
It is a great analogy. It completely flips the typical narrative of rapid execution right on its head.
Right.
I mean, a sloth survives not by competing aggressively, but by mastering energy optimization.
Because they live in environments where food is scarce, so they conserve energy instead of just reacting to external pressures all the time.
Exactly. They prioritize long-term sustainability over short-term panic.
But wait, especially in spaces like tech, isn't the whole mantra to move fast?
Do it fast and break things.
Yeah. Right. So if a company actually operates like a sloth, won't they just get absolutely crushed by an agile competitor, someone who's shipping new features every single week?
It is a very fair question, and the source makes a crucial distinction here. The argument isn't about being slow just for the sake of being slow.
Right. It's not laziness.
Exactly. It's that speed is not always strategy.
Speed is not strategy.
Right. In highly competitive spaces, true advantage often comes from selective action. It's about moving only when movement truly matters.
Because companies fail frequently, not because they lack speed, but because they are far too reactive.
Yes, they chase every single trend, launch products prematurely.
Or they constantly pivot just to feel like they are keeping up with the noise.
Exactly.
Which feels incredibly relevant to day-to-day corporate life. I mean, we have all had those weeks where a leader introduces 3 new weekly check-in meetings
Oh, yeah.
or some complex reporting system just to prove that progress is happening. And all it really does is drain the team's capacity to do actual work.
That is a prime example of visible action being mistakenly assumed to signal strength. For managers and leaders, applying the Sloth's philosophy means focusing on maximizing impact per effort.
Not just maximizing movement.
Right. It takes real confidence to not react immediately to every minor crisis.
Sometimes exercising strategic restraint, just being patient and holding off on that new initiative until the timing is right, is the ultimate leadership move.
It really is.
It is funny to think about sloths as strategists, but when you look at how many startups burn through their capital in the first year just trying to prove they are moving fast, you realize the sloths might be onto something.
They definitely are. The text specifically contrasts uncontrolled rapid scaling with resource discipline.
And resource discipline in this context practically means having the restraint to keep cash in the bank, wait for true product market fit.
Yes, it's the opposite of hiring 50 people immediately just because you secured a round of funding and feel pressured to show massive growth.
Right, because that discipline builds actual resilience. It allows the company to survive when the market inevitably dips.
And the source also points out that creators and celebrities use this exact same pacing strategy.
You would think the most successful ones are just constantly grinding, but the text shows they strategically pace their public presence.
They do. They choose exactly when to release new work or when to engage with cultural trends, specifically to preserve their creative energy.
If a public figure tries to capitalize on every single cultural moment or platform update, they risk overexposure and total burnout.
Exactly. By carefully choosing their moments, their actions carry significantly more weight. Their silence is as strategic as their output.
Which brings us back to you, the listener. We exist in a culture that relentlessly celebrates productivity.
We do.
It is incredibly easy to overextend yourself by chasing 10 different professional goals at once, whether you are building a company or just managing your own career path.
And that is where this philosophy shifts your focus toward career sustainability. Applying this strategy to your own life means prioritizing meaningful work.
And managing your personal energy with intense care.
Right. You are actively choosing long-term endurance over a constant, draining rush. You stop confusing being busy with being effective.
It really reframes how you define a successful day. It is no longer about how many low-value tasks you crossed off a list.
No, it is about whether you utilize your energy efficiently to move the needle on what actually matters.
Right. So to synthesize the core message of the text, sustainable success isn't determined by how fast you move.
It is determined by moving in the right direction at the right time. That requires deliberate timing, incredibly efficient resource use, and disciplined focus.
Absolutely. To wrap things up, the source text hints at some fascinating future research into something called organizational energy management as a measurable capability.
Which is a really interesting concept.
So think about this on your own. If your current workplace or even your own personal daily routine were audited today on a Sloth scale of pure energy efficiency, what exhaustive, low value task would you immediately eliminate to guarantee your long term survival?